All right, you are looking live at Sold Out Stadium where today the 16-0 and playoff bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why are the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. They got smoked once again. First round of the playoffs at home. They got annihilated at their own home. They suck. Dallas Cowboys, you suck. Man, I love watching that game. Man, the Green Bay Packers just straight up open up the can of whoop. It's on them. Straight up can of whoop. It's all over, man. That was one of the greatest games of the season. Oh, man, did my whole heart some good. Dallas, you suck. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all that's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. It really does. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away. Throw in the chat box. You should try to check on the chat box like, every 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. So please feel free and fire away. But post also, instead of me just rambling on for half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might wind up being, it's just nice to talk to another Giant fan. So once again, please feel free to fire away with the comments. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. In the description box below, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one, unfortunately, is called the Saquon. The second one's called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third one I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So, if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me, and I thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you're subscribed to my channel, thank you. Maybe you give this video a thumbs up or share it. That would be freaking awesome. And then finally, just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link. I'll go over that in just a second. The one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart, as you can tell. I can't stand change. I like things just kind of the way they are, right? I hate, don't be upsetting the apple cart, right? The link underneath it, it's a Twitter link. It's always been Twitter to me, and it always will be Twitter to me. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants you to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. I'm calling it Twitter. Nah. I'm calling it Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day. And finally, the link on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Very original, I know. Basically, because I pretty much calling it almost like the same thing I'm calling my YouTube channel, right? We have over 8,400 members in the Facebook group. It's doing simply marvelous, might add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there is a ton of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's the New York Giants to Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, all that stuff said and done and out of the way with. Well, I guess some of the cats are getting let out of the bag, I guess, or one cat maybe. One cat getting let out of the bag so far. Yeah, I tell you what. I like it. Going to be looks like a Tom Brady's first game ever. Of course, he's the new man in town, the new sheriff in town, and all that stuff and everything. I'm sure he'll do a very good job. Very well spoken, obviously. There ain't nothing that freaking guy hasn't seen, basically almost hasn't done or nothing like that. I'm sure he's going to do a very, very good job. So apparently his first game, regular season game. I'm sure he's going to be doing some exhibition games, of course, but his first regular season game would be the Cowgirls and the Browns. Should be a tough one. Let's hope the Browns, right, bring their A game and they just straight up put a straight up whoop button on those Cowgirls. I would love it. Absolutely freaking love it. And the only thing, there's only two things that would be better than that. Straight up butt whooping. The Browns beating the Cowgirls. Week 1, Giants opening up with the dub. That would be fantastic. And of course, number 3 would be apparently, I think Green Bay and the Eagles in Brazil. Let's hope J Love with special sauce throws about 19 touchdown passes against those low life turd the Beagles. And let's hope the Packers come back, the Cheeseheads come back to the United States with a dub, right? And the Eagles go 0-1. That would be absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love it. So I can't stand the Eagles, can't stand the Cowboys. Can't stand the Cowboys. I despise the Eagles. Now, there's a difference. Despise, can't stand. Because I have to have, I got a little respect for the Cowboys. A little, maybe about that. Oh, there you go. Maybe about that much love for the Cowboys because my son likes the Cowboys. Now, me and him, we haven't picked the game out yet. We might even go to that opening day game. We'll have to say, but we haven't picked the game out yet. Me and my son, he's a Cowboys fan. Yep, unfortunately. Yep. We're going to go to a Cowboy game this year. So on the road, we're not going to Dallas. We'll go on the road someplace. We might drive to Cleveland. They're playing Pittsburgh as well, too. We might drive out there. So we'll have to wait and see. Wait for the rest of the schedule to come out, and we'll see. About where we're going to go. But I'm sad, but just a little love for the Cowboys, a little, because I guess my son. So if the Cowboys were able to win the Super Bowl, right? I've seen them win the 5. To me, that's enough for me. I saw them win their first one after the 71 season, the second one after the 77 season. Then I saw the trifecta 3 out of the 4 years, 92, 93, 95. That's enough for me. If I never see him win another Super Bowl, I'm good. I'm all right. If I do see him win another one, well, I'll be happy for my son, right? So that's the Cowboys. The Eagles, I despise, absolutely despise. There's nothing at all that I like about them at all. Nothing. I just can't stand. Absolutely can't stand them. I said I would rather see the Cowboys win the next 335,000 Super Bowls in a row than to see the Eagles win anything. Period. So, but it's going to have to. I'll tell you what, man. All of that aside, I'll tell you what. That Packer-Eagle game, Brazil, that could be a real good game. I will have my popcorn ready for that one. And of course, the Cowboys and the Browns, that could be a real good one as well too. Brown's going to be, if they can keep the ball rolling from what they did last season, that could be a very good game. But we'll have to wait and see what the Giants are playing in week 1. Apparently, I guess, all indications is this Wednesday, 48 hours from now. Oh, no, 48. About 46 hours from now, hopefully we'll know where the Giants are playing, all their games, week 1 and all that and everything like that. So, it's gonna be a lot of fun to talk about 2 nights from now, right? But as of right now, meanwhile, back at the just kind of like a little wrap up from the mini camp. It was just very, very mini camp. Dable says a lot of one thing, but Dable says is that the guys have been like on a lot of stress, right? Their college season finished, and then they're getting ready for, that maybe the bowl games or the Senior Bowl or the East West Shrine, all that stuff. And then after that, the combine, their pro days, the drafts, they got that a lot going on. So what he wants to do is, obviously, is when they come in, don't put a lot on their plate. Maybe give them, whatever, small steak and maybe a little bit of potatoes. Nothing too crazy. Just go around and obviously there's no contact allowed, nothing like that. But just keep everything very, very basic. Don't try to overwhelm the guys, right? A lot of that apparently has changed because remember Paul Dottino mentioning before that what like Parcells used to do, maybe whatever, kind Guy Paul Dottino's Big Blue Kickoff Live. He's been around, I think, since '83 with the Giants. So he's been with the Giants like over 40 years. But he said, like, a lot of what they used to do maybe back in the day was they try to overwhelm the guys coming in to see who could sink or swim, right? Who can handle it and who can't. It's a little bit different nowadays. Now, because also, nowadays, your draft picks are golden. Golden. So yeah, they don't. Unlike probably like with some Parcells or something like that, like a 6th round pick maybe back in the day was, okay, so yeah, well, but now with everybody, they're all. These are guys you're bringing in. They hopefully going to change, be your franchise, faces of your franchise for years to come. Hopefully, so draft picks are golden nowadays. So they obviously they take things a little bit differently nowadays. But I'm all for that because they're going to have a lot of time, to start ramping stuff up and everything. And a lot of it's also on the players too. The faster they not develop, but they learn and all of that and everything, obviously the more they'll get put in. If just say one of those undrafted free agent wide receivers, just saying, right? They bring him in and, maybe one of them makes the team, but, he's having a hard time with the playbook. He's only learning so much, right? He might only have, Dable might be like, this guy has a hard time learning, or whatever. He's getting confused and stuff like that. So we can only put him in like maybe 25, 30% of the play, he's not going to get put in a lot. So a lot of it's on the guys too. You want to go, whatever, maybe have fun or stuff like that, or you want to get down to business and want to learn, learn the playbook and all that, so a lot of it's, the more you learn, the better you get and all that, and the more you're going to, better chances, obviously, of you playing. But with the one thing here that is from Giants Wire. Now, this is basically from day 2 of the Giants rookie minicamp. 5 things we learned from day 2. This is, who wrote this? Dan Benton. 5 things we learned from day 2, which was on Saturday. So the Giants hosted their second and final practice of rookie minicamp on Saturday. Thanks to the clear blue skies, the session was held outside, unlike Friday, where it was held inside. Head coach Brian Daboll briefly met with reporters ahead of practice, with a select few rookies being made available post-practice. Here's a quick look at 5 things we learned on Saturday. The Allen Robinson contract details. Now, this is basically a win-win. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we just brought in Jerry Rice or something like it. But he's like under the veteran league minimum. I'll go over the details here in just a second. But the veteran presence that he has. Still got to make the team. Right? Still got to make the team. Chances are looking pretty good that he will, but he's still got to make the team. But tall receiver, right? He's got a lot of experience, a lot of veteran. He's a veteran, and the veteran presence he'll have is very good. Because we do got a lot of younger guys. Obviously, Slayton is a veteran. It's hard to believe. You start talking about some of these guys. He's a veteran. It just seemed like it just a couple of years ago the guy was just being drafted. But but we still got some young guys as well too. Not only that, but we're bringing in some undrafted free agents, wide receivers as well too, to be on the 90-man roster. So we do got a lot of young guys. We are a very, very young team. Very young team. Now, this is just another one of those guys that are over 30 that Shane's bringing in. They add some veteran depth or a veteran experience to the roster. Basically, you look at like a lot of the roster that the Giants have right now. The guy, if you take away all the guys, the Giants like Phillips and Robinson, a lot of these guys that the Giants brought in this season. We brought in a lot of guys that were like 30 or 29 or 30 or not older. This season, Right? But if you look at a lot of the players the Giants are carrying over from last season, obviously the draft picks and all that. Now, it's a young team, really young team. But let's see here. Dable said Giants signed veteran receiver, obviously Allen Robinson earlier in last week. Head coach Brian Dable appears thrilled to have him. He had a good workout. He's been a productive player for a while. We've had good conversations, ended up choosing to come here. Happy to have him, Dable said on Friday. We'll throw him out there and see how he does. Robinson's contract details were revealed on Saturday and were as expected. It's like nothing, right? Contract details on Allen Robinson per source. A 1-year deal, $1.3 million with $25,000 guaranteed. Right? It's a veteran's deal. Veteran, I guess the league minimum. So the cap hit is $1.1 million. Robinson got a $25,000 signing bonus. He will also earn a $75,000 bonus if he's active for any game this season. So, once again, he might, if he makes the 53, but is he also going to make because there's the final 53 or whatever, but they don't dress 53. So he may not be active either, so we'll have to wait and see. This is a bare minimum. Let's see here. Oh, pop up here. Is a bare minimum investment. Again, no reflection on Darius Slayton's status. So you're just bringing in, bringing in a good veteran presence. That's all. Now, Aaron Robinson, he's still recovering. Yeah, it's such a shame. The guy, he suffered a torn ACL and MCL in October 2022. So it's like what, about 19 months or so. The guy's been a long time. Basically with an ACL. Not that it's it's an easy common or it's a common injury, but an ACL. You obviously you get the surgery, you rehab and all that stuff and everything. Hopefully 9 months, maybe 10, maybe 11 months later, you're back up and running. Well, you look, this October 2022, so October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. So 17, it's 19 months. And he's still, as it says in this article, he's still rehabbing, Let's see here. Aaron Robinson, a third-round pick in 2021 NFL draft, has been a forgotten man over the past year and a half. He suffered a torn ACL and MCL in October 2022, and then missed all last season. Dable says Robinson reported for the offseason workout program, but remains with the rehab group, so he's still rehabbing. Dan Dugan says to the fans constantly seeking Aaron Robinson updates, Dable said he's still in the rehab group during the off-season program. So he's still rehabbing and all, which is great. Obviously there's going to be a point in time where he's going to be able to walk. He's going to be able to run. He's going to be able to do all the things that a cornerback can do. The problem is going to be, how well is he going to be able to do it? Will he be able to do it at an NFL caliber? The other thing is that also, a couple of things, right? One is that he came with Kmart. Okay, he was here. Shane and Dable did not draft him, right? So he was 2021. Okay, right. So there's a good chance that this is his fourth season, right? I'm going to go over some of his stats and all. Yeah, 2021, 2022, and that's it. 2023. So there's a good chance he gets released. Now, as I said, he might be able to do everything, but if he can't do it at an NFL caliber, and the other thing is, it's sometimes with an ACL, sometimes it's not till the second season you come back, right, and you're able to, but you're still maybe a step behind or step slower, or whatever. Usually, a lot of times they say with the ACL, it's going to be important for Daniel Jones as well, too. The second season, that's when you're back to what you were before, if not better, sometimes they say. So it's going to be interesting, even if he does come back. I mean, he might be. I mean, like what happened with Darian Beavers last season, right? Came back, but he was a step slow, right? So, I mean, if he's not, I don't know, up to speed or whatever, he, they seriously might have to let him go. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But he is rehabbing. Let's hope for nothing for the best here now. 2021, he played 268 snaps. Let's see here. I mean, it was just one injury after the other. Let's see here. He didn't play a lot. He missed basically the first half of the 2021 season. He had the muscle core surgery. Basically, after we drafted him, he was injured, muscle core surgery. He missed the first half, basically, of the 2021 season. So he played the final half of 2021. Now, according to Pro Football Focus, now it's not bad. His grades not too bad. Overall, he played only 268 snaps, so he didn't play a lot, right? He graded out a 62.2. Once again, it's probably Pro Football Focus. His run defense was a 75.3. His tackling was a 78.6. And his coverage grade was a 58.4. But his coverage grade in 2022 did get a little bit better. But he's 6'1", 195 pounds. Nice size. Now in 2022, he only played in 2 games. I mean, he played in week 1. He missed a couple weeks. He played against Tennessee. He missed a couple weeks. Then he played in week 4 against Chicago, and that's when he got hurt. He played in 10 snaps in week 4 against Chicago, 10 total snaps, and that's when he got hurt. But the week 1, when we went into Tennessee and we won, right? He played basically pretty much the whole game, 62 snaps, right? His defensive grade, according to Pro Football Focus, in the Tennessee game was a 73.4. Overall, for the whole season, he played 72 defensive snaps. 2022, he was 74.3. His run defense was a 70.4. His tackling grade was an 80. He's a good tackler. His coverage grade was a 73.2. So I mean, in the minimal amount of snaps he was out there, he was productive. Okay. Now, also, another thing too is that, we got to look at too is that, 2021, right? Now we're looking at the third defensive coordinator he was with. 2021, excuse me, he was with Joe Judge and Patrick Graham. 2022 rolls around, he's with Brian Daboll and Wink Martindale. Now it's 2024, and if he even obviously makes the team, now he's, be with Daboll, but he was Shane Bowen, a different defensive coordinator. So we'll have to wait and see. If he winds up making the team or not. I mean, I said one thing is, coming back, but can he perform at an NFL level? We'll have to wait and see. The other thing here, they said they have confidence in Cordell Flott. Now, not in the slot, but out wide. They said, rookie 3rd round pick Andrew Phillips start outside or at nickel in 2024. Now, apparently, they seem like they're going to put him inside, meaning Cordell Flott could start alongside Deonte Banks on the outside. Now, we'll have to wait and see. Daboll added fuel to the fire that on Saturday, expressing his faith in Flott to man the outside role while admitting that there will be a competition. Obviously, absolutely. Brian Daboll, a lot of confidence in Cordell Flott on the boundary opposite of Banks. There will be competition, but pretty strong statement from the head coach in May. So, absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, looking possibly Andrew Phillips, who prefers to play in the slot. So, let's just have to wait and see. Another thing we got here, Evan Neal is progressing. Right tackle Evan Neal ended last season on injury reserve as a result of a fractured ankle. He spent much of the offseason recovering and continues to make strides, says Dable. Evan Neal has been doing some things in OTAs, Brian Dable said, on the mend. So, I mean, he once again, he gives very, very, very plain, vanilla answers. Nothing super crazy. Right. So hopefully, obviously you don't want to push him back too fast. Evan Neal, let him do what he's, mend up or whatever. We still have obviously a few more months to go before, training camp starts in the middle of July. So we got at least 2 more months. So if he's doing stuff now, hopefully maybe in a couple months, we'll have to wait and see. If not, we brought in a whole boatload of free agents, right? Illuminor could start the season at right tackle. We brought in, let's not forget, we brought in Runyon Jr. for, right? But then let's not forget, we got McKeithen coming back. We got Azudu coming back. We brought in other guys as well, too. I'm sure they can find somebody to man another guard position if Illuminor is going to slide outside. If Neal can't start the season, well, I'll just have to wait and see. But certainly you don't want to rush the guy back. Another thing I got here. Theo Johnson is a large human. Well, obviously 6'6", 260 pounds. Tall, very, very tall, which is something you like for an athletic, tall tight end. So you got to like that. So the Giants selected tight end Theo Johnson in the 4th round of the 2024 NFL draft, due in part to Darren Waller's retirement uncertainty. At 6'6", 259 pounds, Johnson is the team's largest offensive player outside of the O-lineman. Fellow tight end Adoree Jackson is 1 inch taller but 10 pounds lighter. Simply put, Johnson is a large human being. But you also look at him. He's obviously he's tall and all that. But you can certainly see where he can certainly add on a 6'6" frame. I'm sure easily 5-10 extra pounds. But if he added on 10, he'd be like almost 270 pounds. That's a whew. That's a big tight end. That's a big boy right there. So I'm not, I have to wait and see if they would, would it take away from his speed if he adds on too much weight or whatever. I'll have to wait and see. But that's nice. You certainly don't want to hear your tight end's a small human being. That's not something you want to hear. I think I like that. I certainly like where we're going with these tight ends with Bellinger and Theo Johnson. We got 2 very young tight ends. That's fantastic. What I would like to see is drafting these guys, developing these guys, and of course, keeping the guys. Right? Instead of just drafting them, they're here for 4 years. See you later. Go after yourself. Right? You want money? Yeah, nah. Go after yourself. Go someplace else. All right. As I said, so Aaron Robinson. I have to wait and see. I said, he had some, the small amount of playing time he did have, he was relatively productive. He had some nice numbers, and it's keep fingers crossed for the guy. But there's a chance. I said, because there's a good chance because this is like his last season. He wasn't drafted by this regime that I'd just let him go. It's a shame. It's not. It doesn't mean this is the end of his career. It might be the end of his career with the Giants, but it's not always roses and sunshine. It just does. There's no guarantees out there. Just because you're a good college player and you got drafted in the 3rd round, there's no, yellow brick road. Just walk down the yellow brick road and you'll get to Oz and everything will be just hunky dory. No, there's no guarantees. So. Unfortunately, it's all, as we've seen with quite a few of these guys, just one injury after the other. They come and they play college football, whatever, and then they come into the pros, and for whatever reason, they just can't stay healthy. Shane Lemieux, he got drafted. He's on some other team. I'm dying to see how long he's going to last on another team. I mean, I don't wish injuries on anybody, but it's almost kind of comical to see how long Shane Lemieux, is able to stay healthy on another team. But I mean, like Ellerson Smith, Aaron Robb. I mean, there's a ton of guys you can go over that just could not stay healthy. It's a shame, because you figure this is their livelihood, this is their life, all this stuff and everything, and to finally make it to the pros and they just can't stay healthy is what it is. But the Giants did. They signed. Now they got, what we got here? Is this it here? Yeah. They waived Jeremiah Martin. Okay. What does it say here? They signed the Giants side, Elijah Chatman, an undrafted free agent who attended the team's rookie minicamp this past weekend on a tryout basis. So they signed him. And in a corresponding move, the Giants waived outside linebacker Jeremiah Martin, who was signed to a reserve future deal following the 2023 season. So, once again, I mean, you need a scorecard to keep up with all of this. Guys are coming and going left and right. Now, just because we just waived Jeremiah Martin, I mean, unless he's injured, certainly does not mean we won't be bringing him back. Doesn't guarantee we're bringing him back, but, hey, stuff happens. Guys get waived, they get brought back 3 days later. This happens. So, but Chatman's 6 foot tall. I mean, I've seen anywhere from 278 pounds to almost 290 pounds. So, but he played 60 games at SMU, the second most played in 60 games, right, which is the second most in program history. He was named. I mean, it's amazing how many games these guys are playing in college nowadays. It's the second most in program history. He was named first team All-American Athletic Conference as a graduate student in 2023. In 2023, he totaled 33 tackles, 9 tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks. Chatman was also named second team All-AAC in 2021 and 2022. So, I mean, he did impress. Now, let's see, we got it here? Yeah, we go. Now, his RAS, score was a 7.94. But some of his things are very, very good. I mean, some of his scores were, his composite speed grade was elite. His 40-yard dash, 4.81. His RAS score was a 9.8. His 20-yard split was a 2.81, which is a 9.43. His 10-yard split was a 1.71, which is 8.59. His composite explosion grade, his vertical was 31 inches. His broad jump, 9 foot 4 inches. Very, very good. His bench, he did 32 reps on the bench, which was a 9.05. What hurt him, they have height here, 5'1", 1'1". I don't know. I don't know. Is that 5 foot 11 inches and something? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Height. So his composite size grade is being height 5 foot 11, I guess. 5'1", has here. But his composite score was a point, not a 9 point or a 7 point or a 6. It was a 0.19, and his weight being 278 pounds for a defensive tackle. That graded out at a 1.32. So those two scores there really pulled the score down. His RAS score overall is a 7.94. His hand size is a 9.879. His arm length, 32.75. But I mean, overall, it was just, very, very, I think I seen where he's, one of the strongest guys in this year's draft class. I think maybe what it was maybe pound for pound. He was one of the strongest guys in this year's draft class. All right. But what really pulled him down was his height and his weight. He's just, the thing is that, there's no room. If he was like 6'3", 6'4", something like that, and he can add on some weight or something, maybe that's a little bit different. But like it's 6 foot tall. Apparently they think he's kind of like ceilinged out, maybe, shall I say. I got here his strengths. Here's a scouting report. Powerful interior defensive lineman who flashes next level ability, fires off of the snap, plays with terrific pad level, and displays good movement skills. Easily changes direction, moves well in lateral pursuit, and is fluid if asked to twist or stunt. Intense and plays through the whistle. Consistently focused on by opponents in the middle of the field. His weaknesses, though. He lacks height and growth potential. So I'm not sure if they mean, his height. He's 6 foot tall. They're kind of hoping he'd be a little bit bigger and maybe he can't maybe grow. I guess more of a gap occupier than a playmaker, and he's a poor pass rusher. Now he got some. We're going to go over some of his numbers here from college. He got some sacks, but. Right. Overall, Chatman is an athletic freak who has shown improvement in his game the past 3 seasons, yet he's a 3-technique prospect with minimum versatility. So, let's see. He put up other numbers that would rival those of defensive linemen at the combine, too. His 4.81 second 40-yard dash would have been second overall, along with those 32 reps on the bench, which would have been, I guess, second. His 4.59 second shuttle would have been third. His 9.4 foot, 9 foot 4 inch broad jump would have been sixth, and his 31 inch vertical would have been ninth. So Chatman made Bruce Feldman's freaks list. Feldman called Chatman pound for pound one of the strongest people in college football. So says now can he make the Giants? So we'll have to wait and see. Very, 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 obviously, somebody bring him in, right? Got some, got some potential. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see, here we go, this past season, all right, overall at SMU. He didn't play, like all the snaps, right? He didn't play, we're not, all right, let's see. Defense, yeah. He only played 474 snaps on defense. Looked like he was playing like maybe half the game or so. I mean, he, like against Temple, he played 19 snaps. Tulsa, he played 26 snaps. North Texas, he played 31 snaps. Memphis, he played 26. Navy, he played 20 snaps. Prairie View, I guess, A&M, he played 20 snaps. Louisiana Tech, he played 33. So he wasn't playing the whole game. So I'm not exactly sure, if he was just kind of like a situational kind of guy. They took him off the field maybe when it was specifically a passing situation. I don't really know. But he graded out a 75.9 overall. His run defense was an 80. His tackling was a 40.8. So he must have missed his missed tackle rate is a 19.4. So, I mean, he missed 7 tackles. Now, he only had so many tackles on the season. According to PFF, he had 21 tackles and 8 assists. Apparently, he had 29 total tackles, and he missed another 7. So he apparently had 36 tackle opportunities, and he missed 7 of them. So his missed tackle rate is a 19.4. So, but he had a few sacks. He wound up with 24 total pressures. So, I mean, you look at it, right? He played pass rush. He had 270 pass rushing opportunities. He got a total of 24 pressures. So basically, you look at every, maybe, I don't know, 1 out of every 11 pass rushing attempts he had, he got a pressure. They said his pass rushing is going to be, won't be super spectacular because, I mean, he played against Oklahoma this past season. He played against Oklahoma, TCU, Memphis, Navy, Boston College. So he played some good teams, but he also played Louisiana Tech, Prairie View, A&M, Charlotte, Temple, Tulsa, Rice, North Texas. So he didn't play, it wasn't, it wasn't like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Notre Dame, so this level of competition was not off the charts. Now, 2021, he had a very good season. Where are we at here? Once again, he only played 550 snaps. Okay. So once again, it was kind of like more of some of the games against Memphis in 2021, he played 58 snaps. Against Tulsa, the final game of the season, he played 58 snaps. Against North Texas, he played 64 snaps. So some of the games he played almost all the snaps, if not all the snaps. Okay. He played a grand total of 550 snaps in 2021 for SMU. He graded out, his overall defensive grade was an 88.5. His run defense was a 92. His tackle, once again, 57.5. He once again, he missed 7 tackles that season. He had a 14.9% missed tackle rate. His pass rush was a 68.4. He had 20 total pressures. So you're not going to get a ton, all right, out of him as far as maybe with the pass rush. Okay. As I said, his run defense has been very, very good. He said in 2021, according to Pro Football Focus, once again, he graded his run defense was a 92. 2022, his run defense was a 73.8. In 2023, his past season, his run defense was an 80. So he's had some decent run defense, grades. Okay, so we'll have to wait and see. I mean, the Giants do, we got a lot of guys in there. A lot of guys in there. We brought in Phillips, right? We got Chatman here, right? Let's not forget Ryder Anderson, DJ Davidson, Jordan Riley. So we got a lot of guys. We got Nacho. So we got a lot of guys, right? Can somebody step up and be the man next to Sexy Dexy? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, Elijah Chatman has got some freakish athletic ability and all. So let's see. Can we bring out the best in him? Can the Godfather, right, Patterson, the defensive line coach, get the best out of Chatman? We'll have to wait and see, right? But hey, competition is never a bad thing, right? Then we got the Giants. How the Giants plan to celebrate their 100th year anniversary, right? So let's not forget 1925, year one, 2024, year 100. So it's a big season for the Giants. Big season. So they're going to celebrate it. Let's hope to God. All right. I mean, what I'm seeing here, okay, is very, very nice. Very, very nice. I mean, was it 2 years ago? I guess it was. They had Fan Appreciation Day. I mean, are you kidding me? Fan Appreciation Day. Once again, are you kidding me? Fan appreciation. People pay $7,000 to park their car. $852 trillion for a beer. Hundreds just for a ticket and all. Are you? And they gave you a medium-sized soda. I guess it was a Coke or a Pepsi, whatever the hell it is. A medium. Are you? That's a fan appreciation. Are you kidding me? And I think you had to be a season ticket member or something like that. So you just couldn't come in, go on StubHub and pay $74,000 for an upper deck seat and get a free medium Coke. No, can't do that. I mean, that costs like 3 cents. We can't just be dishing out 3 cents to you and 3 cents to you. I mean, the Giants are only worth $442 billion. What do we look like? They give out 3 cents and 3 cents. Come on. Gonna be crazy now, right? I mean, what a joke. Absolute embarrassment. I don't. Whoever thought that up, 2 people. Whoever thought it up should be fired. And whoever let the person thought it up, and if there was somebody who actually had to approve it, they ought to be fired too. I don't care if it was Mara, Tish, Lucky Charms, Leprechaun, Santa Claus. I don't care who it was. Moses, whoever, they should be fired. I care less. I mean, if you're that It's cheap and stupid. That's an embarrassment, absolute embarrassment. But I did this celebration is nice. It's nice, you know. So we got, let's see, down here at the bottom down here. All right. It talks about the Giants. The first season, 1925, they finished 8-4. They spelled it wrong. I don't know what those freaking idiots are here. All the way back in 1925, the New York Giants played their first season in the NFL, led by coach Bob Folwell. Folwell, Folwell. Who wrote this up should be freaking fired. Jared Dubin, you idiot. You checks. I wish I could. Unfortunately, I can't leave comments here. I mean, Bob Folwell is the Giants head coach. Giants finished 8-4, which was the fourth best record in the league, fourth best winning percentage in the league. They started 0-3. They lost the first game of the season to the Providence Steamroller, 14-0. Second game, then they played October 17th, and they played October 18th. They played Saturday, October 17th is 1925. They played in Philadelphia, Saturday. They lost 5-3. Then they played Sunday, October 18th. They played back-to-back, literally home and home, Saturday and Sunday. Then they lost. The first game ever was against the Frankfurt Yellow Jackets at home on October 18th. They played the Polo Grounds. They lost 14-0. So the Giants in 1925 started 0-3, but they did finish 8. They won 8 out of their final 9 games. So Bob Folwell, Folwell, is the correct spelling, not how this guy spelled it. Really turned the team around. They had a very nice season. The first season was very, very nice, 8-4. Let's see here. It says the entire Mara family is proud to commemorate the 100th season of the New York Giants football, said John Mara. Yeah, I mean, because let's not forget, 1925, John Mara, right, the part owner of the Giants, well, his father, Wellington Mara, in 1925 was 9 years old. And from 1925, basically to 2005, when he passed away, his father was pretty much except for a couple of years when he always kept up with the Giants, but there were a couple of years where he was in WW2. He was in the Navy. So it was about 2 years or so he missed with the Giants. But other than that, John Mara's father, Wellington, was with the Giants from 1925 to 2005 when he passed away. So, we're talking, and now John's taken over, has been for a while now. So, the Mara's been, since 1925, there's been Maras, right? So very, very important. Very, very important. Let's see. Fans can vote for the greatest play in Giants history on the team's website. The winning play will be revealed at the team's Giants 100, a Night with Legends event on June 20th. It's going to be a big night. Legends expected to participate in the event include Eli Manning, Harry Carson, Tiki Barber, George Martin, Jason Sehorn, Bill Parcells, and Tom Coughlin. Cool. Freaking love it. You got to get Bill Parcells out there as much as you can because he ain't getting no younger. Every time you look at him, every time you see him, God bless him. I hope he lives for another 100 years, but every time you look at him, he's looking older and older. So you got to get him out there as much as you can because, he's getting up there in age. The team will present the Giants' top 100 players voted on by an independent panel on its digital and social media channels throughout the summer, beginning in July. Longtime radio play-by-play announcer Bob Papa will host a 10-part podcast series exploring the impact those players have had on the organization. On August 1st, the team will visit the site of the Polo Grounds, where the Giants played their first game on the 100th anniversary of the team's founding day, which was August 1st, 1925. That's the day that basically Joe Carr and Dr. Harry March went in and presented Billy Gibson with the opportunity to buy the New York Giants or to get in. Billy Gibson said no. He said, perhaps my friend here, Tim Mara, might be interested. And Tim Mara is interested in what? Billy Gibson said, New York Giants, a professional football team. And Tim Mara's like, how much is it? He said, $500. And he wrote a check for $500. So August 1st, 1925 is the first day the Giants were in existence. There will be 100 season theme day at Yankee Stadium on August 4th to commemorate the 18 years the Giants played at Yankee Stadium from 1956 to 1973. Now, 73, they only played the first 2 games of the 1973 season there. They beat the Houston Oilers, who became the Tennessee Oilers, who became the Tennessee Titans, if you follow that. They beat the Houston Oilers in 1973. The first game of the season was in Yankee Stadium, 34-14. The following week, they played the final game that the Giants would play at Yankee Stadium because they started rebuilding or remodeling Yankee Stadium after the Yankee season was over with. So they kicked the Giants out. The Giants went to the Yale Bowl after the second game of the season. But the Giants tied the Eagles 23-23, the final game the Giants ever played at Yankee Stadium. The first 18,000 fans will receive an Eli Manning Yankees bobblehead. Very cool. Very cool. Giants Foundation will pledge $1 million in donations through 10 grants of $100,000 each to a longtime charitable partner, each of which will be highlighted at a Giants home game this season. The 100 season merchandise includes helmets, hats, T-shirts, sweatshirts, and collectibles will be available for purchase at the team's online shop in MetLife Stadium. A 100-season book titled New York Football Giants, The People, the Moments, the Traditions will be available in September. The Duke, which is John Mara, Wellington Mara's nickname. It was his John Mara father, Duke, Wellington Mara, right? The Duke, a documentary about the life of Wellington Mara, who became the team's co-owner at age 14 years old. 14 in 1930, his father, Tim Mara, passed. Jack Mara, right, and Wellington Mara. They were brothers. They became co-owners of the Giants, and Wellington Mara was only 14 years old when he became a co-owner of the New York Giants. 14 years old. Can you imagine it? He became co-owner at age 14 and operated as co-owner until his death in 2005. Well, and the documentary will premiere on NFL Network this fall. In other words, there's going to be a whole lot of celebrating of 100 years of the New York Giants football, and thus a whole lot of opportunities for fans to get in on the fun. So that's freaking great. I love that. I mean, it's a big. What's up, buddy? Greatest play is going to be tough, but you got to think reasons the bias makes. Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. It's because a lot of that stuff's fresh in the minds. Because I mean, you start going back to whatever, you know. Because I mean, they're talking play. You know, play. The Giants when the Giants won their first Super Bowl, there was a lot of different plays, but there was nothing like the helmet catch. You know, when they won their second Super Bowl, there was the wide right, you know. There was nothing super duper. I mean, there's a bunch of great plays, you know, but I think the helmet catch, especially being as recent as it is, fresh in a lot of minds, especially because you can be, let me see, I'm stupid. So that was in 2007 season, right? So this is the 2024 season. So that's 17 years. So you could be 25 years old, be 8 years old, be a Giants fan, and remember that play. 25 years old. So a lot of Giant fans are at least 25. I mean, you could be 23, you could be 24, and remember that play if you were a Giants fan, right? So a lot of Giant fans are going to remember that, obviously. It's not like you're trying to go back to 1971. Well, there was a play in 1971 where most of the Giant fans aren't even alive back then. So the helmet catch, I think that even beats Mario Manningham, that catch down a sideline. I mean, it's tough because Eli broke out, you know, he was just about to be called in the grass, right? He broke out and he just slung it down the field, right? And of course, it goes up and catches it on his helmet. You know, I mean, the other one with Manningham in Super Bowl 46, where he had to place that ball. I mean, that's like, I don't. I mean, how he put it too far out here. He's leading them out of bounds. Too short. If it's coming back here, the ball maybe because there's somebody behind him. The safety I think came over and nailed them out of bounds. So like too short, but maybe the ball gets knocked away. Maybe another foot farther, it's off his fingertips. Too far into the field to play. They got the safety coming over, going to knock the ball. He had to put it right in that one spot. I mean, what the odds are? I mean, it wasn't like a 5-yard pass play. There you go. No. I mean, where did he put it? I mean, what? And not only to put the ball there, but the catch. I mean, right there, 2 toes in, the safety comes over, knocks him, flies him out of bounds, right? I mean, catch the toes, get knocked out of bounds. Can't be bobbling or nothing like that or anything. Hit it, secure it, land out of bounds, and then the ref. Right, that's all he wanted. That's all I wanted. Right. Of course, they review everything, but get his toes in bounds. I mean, that was freaking. Because both of those led to the game-winning touchdowns, right? I mean, so that's a tough one. But I think the helmet catch is going to probably get the nod on that one. I mean, that was special. Not only that, because I mean, both of them won Super Bowls. Both those catches, but the one knocked the undefeated Patriots. Beat them. I mean, that's a special play. That's a real special play. I mean, how many people do you ever remember seeing catching a ball in their helmet? Not many people. Not many people. All right, so that's some pretty good stuff. Now we got this one here. This is just a rumor. Could the Giants play in Germany this season? We will find out on Wednesday. Now, once again, this is just a kind of rumor mill here. This is from Ed Valentine from Big Blue View. Ed Valentine's very good. Could the Giants be taking their 100th anniversary celebration to Germany this season? Ooh, maybe. Once again, we'll find out Wednesday. One of the Giants' 8 2024 road games will be against the Carolina Panthers, who have already been announced as one of the participants in a game in the Alliance Arena in Munich, Germany. Taking a cornerstone franchise celebrating their 100th season, which the Giants are, and placing them in an international game meant to grow the league's worldwide audience would be a very NFL thing to do. So, let's see. The league has announced that the full 2024 schedule will be released on Wednesday evening. Would you like to see the Giants get the international date against the Panthers? Well, we'll have to wait and see. But possibility. You never know. Maybe the Giants going over to Germany. We'll have to wait and see. But of course, oh man, can't wait. Wednesday night, find out who you're playing week 1. Now, apparently, it's not going to be that, it doesn't seem like it anyway, like last season, right? Obviously, week 1, Giants, Cowboys. I don't know how that turned out. But it just seems like, obviously, apparently, I think the Eagles, Packers, right? Cowboys, Browns. We know the Cowboys, Browns, because that got released. The cat got let out of the bag tonight. So the Giants, quite possibly, it's not going to be the Giants Commanders, right? So it's going to be the Giants and somebody. The Eagles are playing somebody from the NFC. The Cowboys are playing somebody from the AFC. So, who are the Giants going to play? We'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be very, very exciting. And let's hope to God 5 of our 6 first games or something aren't like prime time or not like that. I mean, the Giants were not a very good team last season. We had a lot of difficult times and a lot of injuries and all that. So let's hope that the NFL does not want to put the Giants in prime time, right? So let's hope let's hope we get some 1:00 games, right? But it'll be very, very interesting. So it's always like, because after it's over with, it's like, yeah, I can see us going like 13-4. Oh yeah. I do that. And, I mean, I'm like, then I got to sit back and like, Jeff, yeah, no. I always like, yeah, we can win that one, and then we can win this one, and yeah, we can win those next three too. And I always do that every time. All right, and finally got this here. 4 Giants primed for a breakout season. Who is this here? G-Man HQ. All right, the first one they got here, who wrote this here? I'm going to give him props. Desmond Novak. I guess that's how you pronounce it. First one is Jalen Hyatt. Now, you got to remember one thing here, is the thing of relativity. Everything's relative, right? When you got a guy like Malik Neighbors, right, he takes a lot of attention, right? Starts opening stuff up for some of those other guys out there, right? Right? Because when you, I mean, don't get me wrong, when you got Hyatt, when you got Slate and Robinson, some nice receivers, but when you get somebody like, whatever you want to say, Odell Beckham Jr., right? He takes a lot of attention, right? You got Malik Neighbors out there. Dude's going to seek a lot of attention, right? So he's going to start opening stuff up for other guys too, right? So if you got somebody like, there's a couple guys here, obviously. It's like all these are like freaking wide receivers or tight ends that they have in this report here. But if you got him, he's gonna start opening stuff up for some of these other guys. So he's going to make everybody else better. So the first one they got here is that Jalen Hyatt, despite a rookie year that saw absolutely no consistency around him. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of consistency. You saw through 17 games, he scored 23 passes, 373 yards, and 0 touchdowns. While these numbers aren't terrible for a third-round pick, it still feels a lot like a lot of yards and catches were left on the field. But it was also sometimes it was kind of like with him, it was kind of like he'd have a good game or he'd have a good catch or something like that. All right, here we go, baby. We're going to start getting Jalen, baby. Here we go. Woo! And then he would just like disappear. And then the next game would come around and it was like, was he even on the field? Did they throw the ball? Sometimes, obviously when the quarterback gets the ball and there's 415 guys ripping the quarterback's head off and he can't possibly get a pass away, that does kind of hurt the chances of completing passes downfield. But it just seemed like there was every now and then. He had the nice game against the Cardinals. And we're like, here we go, baby. Here we go. Offensive rookie of the year coming up. Yeah, and then he just disappear for a while. And so hopefully we get a little more consistency out of him. But because with that speed kills, boy. You can't, you can't work on speed. Obviously you can work, maybe get a little faster or whatever like that. But if you're that fast, I can do everything in God's given ability. I ain't never going to be anywhere near as fast as him. So he's given a gift. If he's working on his craft as far as with, running the route tree and all that stuff and everything, let's hope. Because you got somebody like Neighbors going to make somebody like Jalen Hyatt, hopefully a lot more open. All right. So, Giants offense struggled mildly all throughout the 2023 season, so it's no surprise to see that Hyatt didn't have as a rookie season as some predicted. Yeah, the offense just struggled, period. The running game was non-existent. My goodness, Daniel Jones got injured. He came back. He got injured again. Tyrod Taylor got injured multiple times. Tommy Chicken Cartlet Parmesan we had a third-string quarterback in there. The offensive line was atrocious. A lot of it had to do with injuries. We don't have the same guys in there on a consistent basis, getting to know no continuity on the offensive line. It's just a tough season, right? So they said if the Giants can, get some continuity going, maybe protect the quarterback, keep Daniel Jones, whoever the quarterback is, keep him upright. Possibly 2024 could be a good year for Hyatt. We'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping so. Man, I tell you what, nothing I love seeing a young stud like him with speed. Man, that'd be fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The other guy they got here is Daniel Bellinger. With all the buzz around whether or not Darren Waller will retire this offseason, the Giants could very well be in the mix for a new tight end one. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. As of now, it seems like Daniel Bellinger is the best fit for the job. Not only is he the most experienced on the roster, which is not saying much, as this is going to be his third season. But once again, it shows you how young the Giants are, right? But his dual threat abilities as a blocker and a pass catcher make him a nice fit on offense. Now, he did not do a phenomenal job blocking last season. He's got to get better as a blocker. Seemed like his rookie season, he did better as a blocker than he did last season. So, but although last season they did seem to ask him to do a lot more, a lot of different things. So maybe he wasn't quite up to the task at hand in some of his blocking assignments, shall we say. So maybe that hurt him. Bellinger has had a quiet career thus far. While in 2022 he has made some big-time plays in the Giants' playoff journey, he had to take a back seat in 23 with the addition of Waller. Despite this, Bellinger still put up similar numbers, catching 25 passes for 255 yards and 0 touchdowns through 17 games. So, all right, next guy they got here, Cordell Flott. Now, we'll have to wait and see, because apparently what they're done about him is that maybe keep putting Phillips, just from what I'm hearing, the nickel cornerback, the slot cornerback, whatever you want to call him, right? Maybe put Phillips there, maybe moving Flott outside. I said similar to Hyatt and Bellinger, Cordell Flott has had a somewhat productive first 2 seasons in the NFL. However, it really feels like he's destined for more, especially with the confidence head coach Brian Daboll has expressed in Flott this offseason. As of now, the Giants have a pretty significant hole at cornerback number 2, alongside Deonte Banks. While there are plenty of options on the roster, none are really as exciting as Flott. His numbers from last season may have not been as eye-popping as you'd think, but Flott has had his fair share of bright moments throughout his first 2 seasons. In the first 14 games we saw out of Flott in 2023, he allowed 40 receptions on 62 targets, right? For 452 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. This is all while playing in the slot, a position he simply may not be suited for in the NFL. So that's why they drafted Phillips, right? Possibly Phillips does seem to prefer to want to play in the slot, right? Slide Flott outside. Maybe he might be on to something. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe that's why they drafted Phillips. Right? They're like, well, okay, we put him in the slot, slide Flott outside. We'll have to wait and see. So let's not forget also, some of what the guys are or are not, maybe more of a man coverage with Wink. If you're blitzing, if you send in 5 guys, whatever, maybe 6 guys, you can't play, zone coverage with 4 guys back there. That's not happening, So when you send in the farm at the quarterback, it's man to man. Some of these cornerbacks, obviously, maybe man to man's not their cup of tea. Maybe some of these guys, more of like a Patrick Graham kind of defensive coordinator. Like, Patrick, we would maybe send 1 guy or something like that. Well, I'm saying we would send 3 or 4 to the defensive, maybe we'd blitz somebody. But a lot with Patrick Graham, it seemed like when he was our defense coordinator, the guys would drop back in coverage, right? And the quarterback would complete the pass, right? The receiver would catch it. We'd run up, make the tackle. The guy would gain 6-7 yards. And then see if with Patrick Graham's calling the play, see, can we make that offense go 15, 16 plays, march all the way down the field without screwing something up? That was kind of the Patrick Graham kind of thing, more of a zone kind of, right? But with Wink, he's sending everybody pressure burst pipes, as he says. You got to play more man, right? So with Shane Bowen, it seems like he sends guys, but not as much as like a Wink defensive scheme. So possibly more with him, he might be more of a zone coverage kind of guy, kind of coordinator. So we're certainly gonna have to wait and see. So once again, we'll have to wait and see what Flott and Phillips do and all of this and everything. Then the final one here, and I'm very anxious to see him, very, very anxious to see What does Wan'Dale Robinson do? Because let's not forget, I mean, he had that real good game against Detroit. He had, obviously the game he got injured, 2022. I think he had like 9 catches for 100 yards. Of course, then he got injured. Then he came back, right? And maybe started off maybe a little slow, whatever, but he started to come on toward the end of the season. Now, he had, what did he wind up with last season? He had 60 receptions. He only had 525 yards, only 8.8 yards of reception, and he only had the 1 touchdown. But he had 60 receptions. Pretty good. He played in 15 games. He only started 8 games, right? So he didn't play it, he wasn't out there every snap. He was on a very bad offensive unit and everything. And he still caught 60 passes. He played in 15 games, right? But he only started 8. But 60 receptions on not a bad offense we had. It's not too bad. So I'm anxious to see, what numbers, type of numbers he might put up. Once again, as I said, because when you got the theory of everything's relative, right? You got a neighbors out there. He's gonna take attention. He's gonna have eyeballs on him, right? He's gonna start opening stuff up for some of these other guys. So if Wan'Dale can stay healthy, I can certainly see him having a nice season this year. That's for sure. Now, you don't want to say, he's going to have at least 90 receptions, because you got to, the ball's going to get spread around. You can see him maybe getting some more receptions, but when you draft Malik Neighbors at number 6 overall, he's going to get a lot of targets. So he gets a lot of targets. He's going to take targets away from other guys as well too. But the targets that Wan'Dale Robinson could be a lot more productive. What was it? 8.8 yards of reception? Yeah. So, 8.8 yards of reception for Wan'Dale Robinson last season. He had 60 receptions last season. So I'm just saying, if he had, say 70 receptions this season, because we're a better offense and all, but instead of 8.8 yards per reception, he could be averaging over 10 yards of reception. Why? Because, Neighbors is, taking some of the defense with him. So it might open up the field for Wan'Dale Robinson. But it seemed like, I was not thrilled to death when we traded back in that second round a couple times. We traded back, we collected more draft picks and all. Then they drafted Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm like, I don't follow college as well as a lot of other people. I'm not no draft guru or nothing like that. But I'm like, who? I'm like, man, come on, man. Wan'Dale who? What? But I'm pretty excited about him. I'm pretty excited because as you look, we drafted Hyatt, speed, Wan'Dale Robinson, even CeeDee Lamb. He praised Wan'Dale Robinson. He said his running ability, his route running, all that. He said CeeDee Lamb gave him threw some love toward Wan'Dale. He said I can't remember exactly. I don't want to misquote him like that, but he gave him some praise. So I said I'm dying to see Malik Neighbors out there. He sort of had a couple. There was a couple catches he had, like in the mini camp and stuff like that. Just snatching the ball. Like, man, I'm very, very excited about seeing him. I don't want to jinx nobody, but let's hope he can stay healthy this year. I'm dying to see what some of these wide receivers, the Giants. Really, really anxious. All right, guys, 1 hour and 13 minutes. Good talking to you. Assist by suicide. Good talking to you, brother. Good comment, man. That's quite possibly the helmet catch. That could be number 1. I might have to agree with you on that one there. All right, whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. If anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world. It's always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.